Hello everybody, I'm Don Counts. Welcome to Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6, and today we're going to be talking some basketball, and I've got my friend here, Mr. Ray Moffett. Ray Moffett, a lot of people know him from here, and Ray worked at Amana for many, many years and also County Commissioner today. Ray, tell us a little bit about yourself. You've been Lincoln County in all your life, I guess.
Well, I was born and grew up in Lincoln County. Grew up at what they call Pea Ridge out near Kirkland, and went to school at Blanche High School, and been in Lincoln County all my life except a couple of years in the military. Yeah. So worked for Boeing Aerospace Division, and then come to Amana. And
well, most people know him working at Amana for years. You did a lot there, moved you way up to the ranks all the way to the top, and that's where most people is going to know you from, even though that's not what we're going to talk about today. But you've got a lot of experiences and met a lot of people through the years.
Yeah, Don, I've been in contact or had the opportunity to work with a lot of great people, and that gave me an opportunity to Amana. You're right, I hired in a low position there. I have appreciation for all levels of work. I've been at all levels, and luckily I finished on top. But you couldn't fool me on work, and I learned a lot in management and how to handle people, and it was a great experience. I wouldn't take nothing for it. Yeah. One
thing about that's a whole interview within itself, and then another whole interview within itself. After you retired, you became county commissioner. That's another whole interview.
Well, everybody needs to be a county commissioner one time. I think you would agree with that.
I would. Yeah.
Okay. It's a thankless job. I guess I take it like a business. I'm not sure everybody does, but I take it like a business and it's your money. I try to look at it that way and try to do what's best for the people. And I don't do a lot of talking on television up there. I do a lot of work behind the scenes and try to get what we need done for the county. Not for Ray Moffett, but for the county. Yeah.
Well, from Amana to county commission to everyday life, it requires lots of decisions, and the difference between those kind of decisions and the kind when we talk about what we're here to talk about today, basketball refereeing, these decisions have to be made instantaneous.
That's right. That's right. Into basketball. Basketball goes back a long way. If you allow me to tell you a few stories, how basketball has changed. When I started basketball at Camargo, we didn't have a gym. We played on a dirt court. Dirt court that you had to put cinders out of your coal stoves to make it playable when it was wet. So people don't understand, you get out and play with your coat on, and no uniforms, and you had officials. They didn't have officials like we did today. Somebody in the community would call a ball game, and looking back, didn't have a lot of problem. We accepted what they called, so we just enjoyed playing.
Sure. And
of course, I went on to high school and was lucky to play baseball and basketball in high school. Did a decent job, and got into officiating. And when I was in high school, at a school named Taft, a guy by the name of Dad Moore. A lot of people may remember Dad. Would call James Schubert. Most people know James. James was coach and principal when this happened. And wanted somebody to come call ball. So James Schubert would loan me his car to go to Taft to work ball in daytime. Okay. I even worked ball when my own sister played on a team. Go home at night, she'd be mad at me because I didn't call enough fouls.
Sure.
But that's how I got started in officiating that way. And I did that for a few years at Blanche. I didn't get no money for it, but it was enjoyable. I always loved sports. And then when when the military come out, and then I decided I would be a basketball official, and that's been a big ride. So
yeah, actually, when you talk about your career of Amana to county commission, the officiating has been sort of a side thing for you that's actually become a pretty full-time job.
It is, Don. When I started assigning in basketball, I did it all on 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I had to make out each official's schedule, mail it out to them, make out each school's schedule, mail it out to them. Today, we got a computer, and it's just a matter of touching buttons and go. I don't know how I did it. I actually, as a production manager at Amana, I assigned officials and worked basketball and helped my job, and never took a phone call on the job. I would not take phone calls on my job. I believe that, you know. But I worked a lot of wee hours of the morning to get the job done, and you know, they won't. Young people won't do that today. They wouldn't do that today. So, but it was a great experience for me.
Yeah, one thing about it, when you think about all the basketball that's being played, even today, or even for the past many years here, you've got to have an official there at every game. I guess a couple, right? Two or
two in the middle schools and 3 in the high schools. Wow. Every play date. Yeah.
And then I guess you have to be concerned as a guy in your position. If you got one sick or one can't make it or whatever, there you are again.
That happens at the last minute. You know, we service 41 high schools, and we service about 85 middle school JV type balls, which is about 125 schools. We got 128 officials on the roster. We cover an area from Swanee Mountain to Clifton, Tennessee. That's the other side of Waynesboro.
Oh.
All the way up to Linden, Hohenwald, Lewis, Hickman County, back up into Page, Franklin, up in that area. So our area, just like if you're traveling as an official from Manchester to Clifton, it's about 120 miles one way.
Wow.
And what a lot of people, of course, I try to be careful sending officials that far. But what a lot of people don't understand, you know, you have people go make remarks, officials do this, and they trying to homer for this and do that. I don't know many officials, many people that would they got to enjoy it, take a job for $85 a night and travel 150 miles round trip and want to cheat somebody, you know. That bothers me but I know it's human nature. But we got one of the largest areas in the state of Tennessee, mileage-wise.
Can see. And
it takes a lot. It takes a lot of managing to keep available officials. You have a lot of people wants to officiate till they get into it. You know, you got if you'll let me show it.
Sure.
You got this book. It's which actually is a case book type thing. Give you cases. Of course, you got your rule book. And then you got your officials manual, and the officials manual actually tells you how to get on positions you take on the floor to see the call. It's all about position.
All about position.
Yeah, a lot of people think you just go out there and call. No, they're taught how to get in position. Now, do they always do it? No, they don't always do it. But you know, the first rule book, and I had it, and somebody borrowed it from me. If you understand what I'm talking about. 10 pages, 10-page rule book when first one ever come out. Now you got all these books. This is just a few books you got. Of course, official today has got to get registered with the state. That's a fee. He has to go to a TSSAA camp every 3 years. That's a fee. He has to pay a local fee. That's a fee. So there is money involved, plus buys uniforms. If you're starting out as a new official, you're probably going to spend $300+ before you ever work your first ball game.
Yeah.
That's getting uniforms, and that's buying a El Cheapo, you know, just a starter kit. So there's a lot to it, and you know, every official that I deal with, and I did this at work, I knew something about everybody. Nearly everybody worked for me at Amana. I'm talking about it on all levels. What makes them tick, what they like. I do that in basketball. What's their hobby? Find out something about them. Do you hit a home run on everybody? No, but it sure helps to know people. So
I'm sure you know, a lot of people might not think about when you look at basketball. The referee's got to be in shape. He's got to
Yes.
run. But one thing about it, he's got a front row seat. If he loves basketball, that's a way to look at it.
Exactly right. That's right. And you know what? There's a world of people. Just what you said. He wants a front row seat. He loves basketball. He loves to be involved. It may be some kid that really wanted to play basketball, never was a good, a top-notch athlete,
Right.
but he can excel as an official. And a lot of them make good officials. I don't know if you know it or not, but I referee. Your daddy officiated. You know.
Yeah, I knew my dad did.
And he and I worked a lot of ball games together. I'll tell you this little story. James was a real stickler on. He told me one time, said, "Hey, don't call nothing you can't explain." So I thought that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, but it's been a good ride, and we need more officials. If anybody looks at this, I guess I'll take the opportunity. If you want to get into officiating, call me. But we need officials. We got a lot of officials in this area, but boy, you go past Pulaski, and we got a lot of schools past Pulaski, Giles County, and we got to send officials on long trips to cover those ball games. And, and I'll ask the general public or you, either one, how many people jump off of the job at 4:30? I know y'all close at 4:30.
Right.
Jump in a car, head out to wherever, Summit High School up in front, work a ball game, take away my wife, and can't be straight about it. That's just, you don't see your wife. I used to work 5 nights a week. And I did it to supplement my income. But I'll just be honest with you. I worked 5 and sometimes 6 on Wednesday night church league. And young people tell me I can't work. I'm working 9 hours a day. I can tell you this time of year through up and through March, I used to work on 3 and 4 hours of sleep every night. That includes Sunday. And it's just what you want to do.
And the extra income had to help you. And over the years, I am sure you saw some really, really good ball games and some pretty good athletes.
Oh, I've seen some of the best. I've worked at, Shovel was a measuring stick girls for many years. I've gone in there where you couldn't hardly get down the sideline, packed. That was, forget about the pay. That was a up tempo.
I bet.
And they had some great ball players. But Don, I never, I knew who the good ball players was, but I didn't look at it like a lot of officials keeps up who scores, who's the big scorer. I never did that. I always, if you was mediocre and you got a foul or somebody fouled you, I believe in making the call and call like should. And I'm not saying people look at it like that, but it's amazing how some of them look up the matchups. They want to match up this and match up that. And
well, when you look at the game itself, if you didn't have the referee there, you would have mass chaos in a ball game. Now, you have to be a leader. You've got to be in control. If you didn't have control of the ball game, and I know you know this, it would be totally out of control.
It would, and Don, it's as you know, and it may be right here in your own business, it's very different in handling people today than it was when I come through refereeing ball. It's people are, I call it, they're more touchy,
sure,
if you would, and got more voice. I think they have. Let me tell you a little story on the pay. When I started, you get rich. Middle schools paid $5 a night for 2 ball games. Junior highs paid $7.50. High schools paid $12.50.
Wow.
That's getting rich quick, ain't it? Getting rich quick.
But I'm sure the extra money did help you, though.
Yes, it did. Well, gas was 20 cents a gallon. Okay, so that's different. But if you do well in this stuff, there is opportunities. A lot of people, and a lot of our officials, not a big percentage, it's gone on up to college. And when you get up in college, Division I, you're bringing home $25,000 to $3,000 a night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I can tell you, officials that quit their job and just work basketball. And they work 50 or 60 nights in the wintertime. So
how do you move up do you have people like yourself who watches and see what kind of official they are, and that gives them opportunity, or?
Well, it's like, you are observed, and it don't help to know, it don't hurt to know somebody.
That's in anything.
In my case, I'm connected with the Trans-South. That's a college league, and I've helped a lot of officials move on up to there. Now, when you get up in Division I, I only know a few people, so I can't say I've helped them. But it don't hurt to know somebody that knows somebody. But this guy's got great potential, and we've had a lot of officials here. Some I'll call names that's been rewarded the state tournament. That's a big deal. I mean, you're talking to one. I got to work state tournament. Don Vanata, Dan Holt, Jason Hambrick, and John Towery, all from Fayetteville, has worked the state tournament. So you either got to be good or know somebody to get there. And
that's a big opportunity.
Yes. And today I help determine who goes to the state tournament, and I go strictly on ability and performance. And personalities don't hurt you. Good personality don't hurt you, but
because I guess as an official, you've got to not only get along with the principal, you got to get along with both coaches to some extent.
Yeah.
Even though you've got to call it by the book, and I guess getting in the right position and being in good enough shape to handle it.
Well, that's right. You have a lot of. It's like work. Some people has ability to work around controversy. Officials the same way. They are scared of it. Want to shy away from it, and some know how to hit it head on and make you like it, like smile and go on. And but it's been a good ride.
You've seen a lot of changes in basketball, and we can start with something very, very fundamental. Way back, girls basketball when I was young was half court. You might explain to the folks. Many people might not even realize that.
Well, you're right. You used to call 3-on-3.
3-on-3.
And what it was, you had three of the same team. You'd have three forwards on one end, three guards on the other, and your opposing team would have three forwards on the guard end, and three vice versa on the other end.
And make sure that they couldn't go.
You couldn't cross the center line. No, you couldn't cross the center line. I'm going to tell you one older than that in a minute, but
okay.
But in those days, a lot of people don't realize it. Girls basketball. This is many years ago when I was at Camargo, okay, and a little later than this, even when I got in high school. Girls could only dribble once, one big long dribble, okay. And then they got updated. They got to take two big long dribbles, okay. And the athlete adjusts to what they can do, and you'd see some of these girls take that big old, they push that ball way on out there with one big dribble. Well, today, with as athletic as the guard is, they get it taken away from them.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you another story, on a post play. You know what post play is?
Yeah.
Post play, and girls, years, they didn't have three seconds. You hear people sitting in the stand, 3 seconds, 3 seconds. That's staying in the lane too long.
Yeah, staying in the center box.
Yeah. Well, in years, they used to put a big girl down in the lane, and she'd come up and overhead and shoot. Well, if you put your hand on the ball now, it was a foul. I know teams that the girl couldn't shoot a free throw. I can call names that they used to, every time she'd get the ball up, start to shoot, they put the hand on the ball, and they had about 4 or 5 guards, and they'd just foul out and make her shoot free throws, so we'd let her shoot. So that's a real change. I was going to tell you another story. In boys basketball, 5-on-5. When I started in grade school, they had what was known as a standing guard. 4 players would go across center line, and the guard would stay back across center line and play defense.
Oh,
that's true. That's true. And that, so we've come a long way, haven't we?
We have, and we can talk about. I'm not sure what year it started, but the 3-point shot come along.
Yes, that's been in for a few years, and I think they really added to basketball.
Really?
It's added, yes. Another little story. Back when I started playing ball in high school, I wanted to shoot a one-handed shot. Okay. Mm-hmm. I got scolded for shooting a one-handed. They wanted to shoot a two-handed shot. They wanted to shoot a free throw like this. And that changed too. You don't never. So the 3-point play come in, and I think it's great. It shows a guy's ability to really put the ball in the hole from way out. So
let me ask you this: basketball, has it always been as physical as it is today?
No. What was a foul a few years ago is not a foul today. I say that with respect. Now, here's what they do. It's there's more body contact. Kids are more athletic. If you call the fouls like we did when I first started, you wouldn't have many players out there because they're so athletic. You just, if they're going straight up and bump, neither one game's advantage. Most time, official let it go. They let it go. But you're right. It's not called. Basketball is not called anywhere near to what we wasn't taught when I first got in. Can you call basketball? Oh yeah. Pitch the ball till you say start the game. No instructions. Okay. Today we do have instructions. And
sure.
We do tell you how to start the ball game. So it's changed a lot.
Yeah, like the entire dribbling process. In the day, the way they dribble today, we would call that carrying the ball.
Well, now, today, unless you get your hand up under it. Now, if you get it over here, and when I was come up, if I done it like that, carrying it. Now, you just got to be completely underneath it.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Interesting.
That's right. It don't bother me, but I get tickled listening to announcers and talk about, well, they missed this, they missed that, and and read that right there. They don't sit and read this book. They're going what somebody told them, sure. and it's just different. It's just different. So I feel fortunate that I have actually lived it for 50-something years.
Yeah.
Pretty well know every change. Now I can't tell you the date, year every change, but I can tell you nearly every change in it, and it's helped me enjoy the game better as I watch it. If I actually watch a game.
Let me ask you a technical question on basketball. Sometimes I see officials, and now in many cases they have 3 on the field.
That's right.
And you got 2 officials make a call, one saying one thing, one saying another. Who makes the final judgment?
Well, that's what this book right here does. This gives you, divide your court up, okay, in areas, they call it.
Gotcha.
Primary area. Well, we have a pregame. If 3 of us go in a meeting, we have a pregame before we go on the floor. And we remind each other of certain things. And one of the things you remind of, if the ball's coming to me and it's in my primary, it's mine. So me and you got a whistle. You say you got primaries and secondaries to officiate. So if you make a call from a secondary, the only way you take the call is me bail out of it and say, I didn't get, just tell you take it, and I didn't get a good look at it. So, so that's the way it works.
One thing that I see, and we all see, whether it be football, basketball, all the things where we're seeing replays, the actual referees are doing a really, really good job. You don't hardly see them miss any.
Well, that is dedication and concentration. You take an official that really wants to do a good job. Forget about what he makes. He's going to work you a good ball game. He knows what he's doing. What a lot of us don't realize, and maybe we do, basketball, or officiating basketball, is all about angles. That's the reason that in your book it tells you how to, what areas to cover, give you the best angle to see the play.
Sure. Well,
if you're at the other side of that room looking and I'm over here looking, we're looking at 2 different things, and could be. Sure. And that's what confuses a lot of people. They think they see something, or they may see something that I didn't see. But guess who's got the responsibility? I have, as an official. So.
interesting thing too, as you being over the officials, you also have this opportunity to go different schools and observe the officials.
Sure, yes I do. Don, I travel about 5,000 miles a year observing official visiting schools. As I say, we got one of the biggest area. So that's my job as appointed by the TSSAA is the leader of the association, official association, the signer of the association, and responsible for the supervisors and the training of the association. Wow. So that's dictated down. That's pretty good. That is dish full, yes.
You know, a person like myself, when I go places, I'm lucky to get a front row seat. Me and Paul Henry, you know, we get great seats at ball games and things, all that. But now, people out there who might be interested in wanting to do this kind of thing, it sounds like it's a great opportunity. If you like the game, you're going to get the better seat when you go in the house.
That's right.
And go through the steps if someone's out there interested in wanting to be an official.
Well,
good little extra income.
Well, if you want to be an official, of course, this day and time, you got to register with the state. That's what they call it. You used to get your license. Now it's register with the state. That you can go online and register. Take a test. You got to take a test to get your registration. And of course, you pay a fee to do that to the state, not to me. And then, if you want to work in a particular area, you either declare on your registration there's 12 associations in the state of Tennessee. We're one of them. Okay.
And you work for the TSSAA?
That's right. I work for the TSSAA. Okay. There's 12 associations, so you go in there and say you live in Fayetteville, we're South Central. You could mark South Central on you. And that automatically, in the computer system today, puts you on my roster. I may not even know you. Then I've got to go find out about you. Okay, now. Then if you want to call a referee, say this year, and you hadn't been to camp, I talk to you and find out something about you, if you worked in a ball, you know, whatever, and then I lay a plan for you, you know, not to throw you in the fire real quick, but to try to get you with an experienced official until you get to camp and all that and learn more about it.
I'm sure that helps being with somebody who knows it.
Yes, it helps you with your mechanics, they call it, and you know, your signals is part of your floor mechanics, and positioning is part of it, and that's important. A lot of people don't think of that until they get out there.
Sure.
And then I would direct you, you know, and I've got 2 or 3 young men just out of high school, and I'm directing them through this year, handle them with kid gloves, being careful where we put them, what type of ball games we put them in. They're enjoying it. They're making a few bucks, you know, and of course we have a training program, and it's according to how you react. Sometimes I won't charge you a fee to belong to the association first year if you go to camp when the next camp comes, you know, because like I say, it costs a lot of money, you know.
Sure.
It's a lot to a person just to get started.
Let's talk about camp. You mentioned it 2 or 3 times. What's involved in it? Where's it located?
Well. Fortunately, we've had a camp for 30-something years, and out of that 30-something years, we've been at Shelbyville High School. They have a big, they bring in all these teams, run 3 or 4 gyms over there, and we do a 2-day camp. It used to be a 3-day camp, and you know, me being an old production manager, I figured out how to do it in 2 days. Okay, and it cuts down on cost, okay, rather than raise the cost on the campers, you know. So we go over there, and we actually have floor work, we have classroom work, we take time, when you get in the book, time that we can spend with you, we go sit in the bleachers or whatever and talk, and you go to that camp, and then that fall, hopefully that you would be ready to register with the state for good, you know, for real, and be eligible for at least middle school assignments. You know, that's your start. That's middle school and elementary school is a starting point for most every official. You got to be a cracker jack. I was very lucky the first year I got in. I worked 12 high school ball games, sort of unheard of. You know, most people just work middle schools. I don't know whether I was lucky, if they was in bad shape or what, but I wouldn't want to mislead anybody out there. You won't jump right in high school unless you're pretty good.
I don't know if anybody would want to just jump right into
that. Well, they may think you do till they get there. Okay.
I am sure there's a lot of, sometimes when I'm at games and you hear, unfortunate, the crowd yelling at refs and that kind of thing, and that makes me not want to do that, but you got to have be thick-skinned. And
well, we tell them, to be thick-skinned, and you can tell if people are, everybody's nature is different. You agree?
Mm-hmm.
And if you're touchy in a workplace, you most likely going to be touchy on a basketball court, all right? But we try to, we don't put up profanity. Now, in yesteryear's profanity, I'd go tell you, get out of here. We don't do that no more. We got what called a game administrator. We go to him and say, see the guy in the blue shirt up there? You need to get him out of here. Or get him, or it's according to what he says. Or get him shut up, or move him back up in the Bob Euchre seat.
Sure.
But
so that you have an administrator, which means the principal, or what do you?
Well,
say?
It's whoever the school. Most of the time, it's athletic director.
Gotcha.
But the TSSAA calls them the game administrators. So they're the people that the officials communicate with at the ball game, and they have pre-games. We have a game administrator meeting, and we go over sportsmanship, blah blah blah, all this, all the things that does control the game.
I hear them make the announcement. Sometimes the PA announcer will talk about they just had a pregame meeting and about sportsmanship and all that every now and then at certain games.
Yeah. All high schools are required to have them.
Oh, okay.
If they don't, the official turns it in to me, and I turn it in to the state.
Gotcha.
Okay, so.
Yeah. TSSAA, I guess, keeps a close eye on the referee situation.
Well, somewhat. The TSSAA, I'll speak for myself.
Okay.
I pretty well run it. Well, I do run it, and I guess the confidence shown in you as a leader is determined how involved they get in it. But we have a great relationship. We try to. They direct. We try to deliver. Okay, so that's.
Well, it's a great opportunity for people if they're interested in getting involved in TSSAA officiating. Just give you a call.
Yes, that's right.
You want to give them your number?
Well, they can call me at 931-433-7845, or and I'll leave me a message and I'll call them.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to have you on, Ray Moffett. Everybody knows him from Amana to the county commission, and now, if they didn't know that he was over the officiating here in this community, they do now, and it's really nice to hear that there's opportunities for people not only to get started in this profession, but also move up, and that's what you encourage people to do.
That's exactly right. Don, I've been around for a while. I might be looking for a replacement.
Well, you've been around a long time, so we wish you well with this particular career, what you're doing here, and hope you find some people. And we're right in the heart of basketball season, and if you love the game, this might be something you'd be interested in.
That's right.
All right. Well, Ray Moffett, thank you very much for stopping by. I've been wanting to talk to you forever about this. I'm proud you took the time to do this. I know it's not an easy thing to talk about, but it's also good to talk about people for getting people involved and
appreciate it, Don.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming by. We appreciate you watching here on Fayetteville Public Utilities Channel 6. I'm Don Counts, and we'll see you back in here next time.
Well, I hope it turns out all right.